Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's something serious. Where my girls at? We ain't linked up in a cool minute. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right.
It's going down. Well, where my girls at? All right, all right, all right. Yes. Here we are, folks. Another Monday. Monday. When I tell you this month is moving with the speed of lightning. Well, I guess since we've been vacationing for 10 or 11, 12 days of it, that will take a chunk out of your month. But we're so glad you're here. Yes. We see all of our loyal listeners, all of our loyal viewers. We got issues. I see Patrice. I see Casey. I see Alexandria, who was one of our guest hosts last week while we were away. There's Felicia Mayfield Banks. Greetings, girlfriends. Happy Monday. It's Sabrina Goodman Monday with Monday Motivation. We're excited that you're here. 19 a.m. The Superstation with the Force of Friendship. Sabrina, Katrina, Chrisette, and Gloria. Well, there's beautiful First Lady Chrisette. Katrina will be on in a minute. Gloria is still in the friendly, beautiful Big Island of Hawaii. She'll be back tomorrow. So we're praying that she travels safely. And so getting acclimated, man. This re-entry, oh my goodness, re-entry into real life. After vacay, when I tell you I don't want to make my bed, I don't want to cook, I don't want to do nothing. I still want to. So we're going to talk a little bit about how do you get back into the throes of life after being in the lap of luxury. So Margaret says she enjoyed the pics and videos, second to being there. We did a good job, not a great job, because we were having too much fun. And Chrisette was like, we need to post. I was like, you post. And she said, I've been doing all the posting. And then Katrina's husband, he needs another vacation because he was doing all the photos, taking all the pictures. But we're blessed. We know there's a lot going on. When I tell you this is a Monday mood, we're in a Monday mood. We're going to talk about it all. First Lady Chrisette in the D. You guys had a lot of happenings in Detroit this weekend. How are you doing?
Listen, I'm recovering. I am recovering. When I tell you, being First Lady and husband being one of the chairmen over the welcome home for all the alumni of Detroit Public Schools, we hit the ground running. That's why we left Hawaii like a day early and got on the plane, landed just enough time to run home, take a shower, put on our clothes, and head down to the Fox Theater. But I'm going to tell you, it was worth it all. It has been a whirlwind weekend. Thursday, we went to the Fox Theater, and I got to give a shout out to the Detroit Public Schools Superintendent, Dr. Nikolai Vitti. When I tell you, we're so excited about what he's doing with the Detroit Public Schools, and they brought back the arts because, after I graduated from high school and then a few years later down the road, in Detroit Public Schools, they took away it all. They didn't have any music classes, dance classes, and those are so important in our community. So it was just just so awesome to see the young people from the various high schools perform at the Fox Theater. And you guys, because you're not from Detroit, you don't know about the Fox, but the Fox is one of the most spectacular theaters in Detroit. It was renovated, many years ago to its elegance that it held, way back in the 1900s. And I'm gonna tell you, it is absolutely gorgeous. And so to have these young people be able to go on that stage and to play and to dance and to sing was just awesome. And I truly believe when we give our young people opportunities like that, I know that somebody's dream was fulfilled. They looked and said, okay, I'm in high school and I'm at the Fox Theater. One day I'm going to be an adult, and I might be playing for the symphony because they had an opportunity to do it in high school. And I'm going to tell you, there was one band, and I can't remember exactly where they were from, so I'm not going to even try to guess, but I'm going to tell you, if you closed your eyes, you would not have believed that it was a high school band. That's just how talented they were. So that was so awesome. And then on Friday, they had another event. We went to the Detroit Athletic Club. No. Let me take it back. Friday morning, we had to go to my husband Chuck's his alma mater. And I'm going to tell you, he loves Mumford High School. So shout out to the listeners who graduated from Mumford. If nobody else loves Mumford, let me just tell you, my husband, he loves me. He loves his kids. He loves Greater Grace. And then I think Mumford would probably, he loves his family, be number 5. Okay. Because when I tell you, he talks about his high school so much. And it was just so awesome to go there. And they named their Serenity Court in the name of Chuck Bishop Ellis. And then he went to school with Bishop Winans, okay, the Winans family. So they all grew up at Mumford together, as well as Fred Hammond went to Mumford High School. So when I tell you Mumford High School, I got to give a shout out to Bishop Edgar Van. He also is one of the notable bishops in the Detroit metropolitan area that graduated from Mumford as well. So that event was just awesome. And then we went to the Detroit Athletic Club. They had a big meet and greet there. That was awesome. And then you guys, I'm going to tell you, this wasn't a part of the weekend, but on Sunday, when I tell you my feet were like, are you crazy? Is your mind bad? Do you think all these years, we've not been in heels for a long time. And I had the nerve to have on heels like all this weekend. My feet was like, girl, you just don't know. You are pushing your feet to the limit. And we went to Orchestra Hall, and they had the opera X. And it's all about the life of Malcolm X. If it comes to your area, Sabrina, Katrina, you absolutely want to go and see it. It's called X, and it's just X, and it's about the life of Malcolm X. It was predominantly an all-Black cast, and they did a phenomenal job of telling us his life story. For those who didn't know it, you learned some new things. And for those of you who did, you just sat there and said, wow, our people have gone through some things, but yet and still we rise. And so I know I could go on, and Sabrina's giving me that look like, okay, I said you could talk for about 10 minutes, but I'm telling you. And then, okay, this is the last thing I'm going to say. Okay, I got a few more minutes before break. The last thing I want to say, so we did that, and then we rushed over to the Huntington Place, which used to be Cobo Hall, and there was the black tie event where they celebrated the notables, the who's in the Detroit metropolitan area. And that was really awesome. I don't know if you guys know that Judge Greg Mathis, he is from Detroit, even though he's out in California. Many of you watch him as the judge on television. He is coming out with a new reality show with his family. So I'm excited, got a chance to chat with him. He's good friends of our family. So he is absolutely excited about coming on We Got Issues and talk about his new reality show. So that's really, really exciting. And then did you guys know who wrote September and Boogie Wonderland? That's a question. Who wrote that?
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Oh,
Okay.
who wrote it? Okay. I think one of the people that wrote it is from Chicago. I don't know if it's that song, but someone who wrote some of the Earth, Wind, and Fire songs was a member of Anthony's former church, but it might not. They have a whole lot of songs, so it may not be those two.
Well, most people, when you ask that question, I should say many people, if you ask that question, immediately they say Earth, Wind, and Fire because they sang it. But the co-author who wrote most of that is actually from Detroit. And she was a Jewish woman named Alex Sherrill Willis. And they call her Allie Willis. And guess where she went to school?
Mumford.
Okay, Mumford. So I mean, when I tell you my husband's Chuck's chest was sticking out because of all of the notables who graduated from Mumford. And the combination was all of the students, band and choir, they got on stage and they did a tribute to her because she passed, I think, a couple of years ago. And so they did Boogie Wonderland and September. So again, it was an amazing event, a whirlwind weekend, but it was so worth it. And again, they called it Come Home. And so, you know, every year they're planning to do this annually. And I was just glad to be there to represent Renaissance High School. Okay, don't play. All right, that was the smart high school, Sabrina, just so you know, okay?
I got you, Chrisette. Well, the pictures look amazing. It's always good to come home and give back to the community and grow the community and celebrate all the greats that come from our high schools in the city. I just love that you guys are doing so much in the city. Great things are happening. And one of our viewers said that she takes her granddaughter to the enrichment program at the summertime at Mumford, and they love it. So great things are going on in the D. What were you going to say, Chrisette?
Wow, I was going to say, I was just looking one of the Facebook, I don't see her name. She said, Dr. Vidi left us here in Jacksonville to come back home to Detroit. He was a great superintendent there in Jacksonville, Florida. So listen, we are so thankful that he decided to come home back to the D, because when I tell you, he is doing an amazing job. So many people had so many accolades to give to him, and we're just excited that he is in Detroit.
Yes. Well, Katrina, you're looking great. You're looking awfully orangey in all your orange.
Right.
And so how you feeling out there? How you feeling out there?
I'm feeling great. Chrisette, it was great to see your weekend. I mean, I wanted to fill it with as much rest as I could, just recalibrating, but we were running. And today we were running. Anthony ministered yesterday in San Jose, and all I could say after he finished, because he was in rare form. I was like, he is ready to travel. Okay. I could tell, just release him, because the calf is out of the stall. So he just told me today he's headed to the Congo. Okay. He's headed to the Congo. He's talking, he's booking and going here, going there, ready to go. I was like, okay. And honestly, we're talking about all things. And so it was hard enough for me because I'm still traveling with my mask. It was hard enough for me to keep that mask on for 5 hours. So I'm like, see you later, babe. I'm not ready to go that far yet. But I know if God sends him, he will cover him. So, and then still doing some work around. I mean, we're about to paint, we're about to rip up some carpet. We got a whole lot going on. So if you see me, those of you on Facebook, if you see me in a different background, because I'm in a corner someplace wherever I could get in, okay, like wherever I can get in. But it's a blessing to be able to do it. And I know we're going to talk about gas prices, because when who said, Sabrina, was that you that said Friday they said gas was going up to $6? Well, California been at $6. We passed by someplace in San Jose yesterday where some of the gas was $8. $8, not that far from the PayPal building. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Where is the Costco so we can get off? So I know we're going to break. I know we're going to a break. So we're all hosting today. So we will be right back after this break, and Sabrina will catch us up on what is happening in her world. In her world. All right. We'll be right back. Well, I'll bring us back. I'll bring us back from the break. I will bring us back from the break. I'll bring us back from the break. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are having an amazing day today. We are talking about Monday mood. You know, I know that my girlfriend Sabrina go on Monday. She is always in a happy mood on Monday, but not everybody is. So we talking about the happy, the sad, and everybody. As a matter of fact, right before we got on the phone, we called Kenny Monday, and it really is a Monday mood. He was just as happy as he want to be, Sabrina. Okay, He was just as happy as he wanted to be. So we were talking about Lady Chrisette caught us up on everything that was going on in her life, and I was catching up a little bit on what has been going on just since coming back from Maui. And so, Sabrina, what's going on in y'all's world? How was Rio? Was he looking at you like,
Right.
y'all came back?
He was so happy. Well, his brother came home from college while we were gone. So when I tell you that's his bestie, he loves all the kids equally. He has a very special relationship with each and every one of them. And so, of course, we could tell because he had been with Quincy for 5 straight days, and Quincy feeds him everything and anything. And so he saw me with some in my hand, so he thought I was supposed to just feed him out my hand. I was like, "Nah, brother, we don't roll like that, okay? Get back over here with your brother." So he was happy that his brother's home. So Quincy got home from Princeton for a few weeks before he starts an internship. And so honestly, just, you know, you guys, life moves fast. And so it's so important that you take that time to slow it down, take some rest, because when you get back into what we do and how we do it, it is fast paced. And so I just jump right back into it. We've got, we're about to end our fiscal year in business, so there's a lot going on. Let's talk about these gas prices, though, you guys. I mean, the White House is exploring the possibility of tapping into an emergency diesel reserve to ease the spike in gas prices. So I was happy to hear that, because I was talking to another girlfriend earlier. I said, how deep can this thing go? How expensive can gas really get? I mean, $8 a gallon in California, Katrina. I don't think we've ever seen that. The emergency declaration under consideration would enable President Biden to release diesel from a rarely used stockpile. But the reserve is relatively small and will only serve as a temporary solution to buy time. The national average price for diesel stood at $5.56 a gallon as of yesterday, just shy of the record $5.58 set last week, according to AAA. Millicent said Cali is out of control. Diesel is a vital fuel for U.S. economy, powering not only farm and construction equipment, but the trucks, trains, boats that move goods across the country. Skyrocketing diesel prices often get passed to the consumer. So when you see the grocery prices sky high, when you see goods and services at an all-time high, it's because of the gas. Oh my goodness, you guys. We've got a few trips this summer. I started booking flights. I don't know when airfare has been this expensive in years.
Right.
Tell it.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I'm gonna tell you, it's time. Hey, we're gonna have to go old school. You better get you a bike. Okay. You know, if where you need to go is you can get there by bike, you better get on a bike. Hey, we need to see how much it costs to put gas in those slingshot cars that we were in in Oahu, because it might be cheaper. You might see me and Chuck in a slingshot, okay? Because gas is absolutely ridiculous. And start walking. We got a Costco's not too far from my house. Look, I'm gonna have to put on a backpack and just take my groceries on my back, carry them on my back, get some ice, get my walking in, and save some money. And I'm gonna tell you, for me, filling up my car, it's over $100. I don't think I've ever spent $100 to fill up my car. So I'm going to tell you what it's doing. At least for me, I think twice about driving places, or I'm very conscious about, before I go there, oh man, I could have went this way first and did that. Now I'm like, nope, I'm not going there. I can wait. I am trying to reserve that gas. I promise you, because it's so expensive.
It's the truth. Something. I mean, because gas affects everything. It affects everything. And so it's true. It is so true. How about the baby formula? I mean, the baby formula, just reading this, I was trying to find what Biden is calling an Operation Formula, I think, but it says here, retailer shelves normally stocked with formula, including those in local stores, have been mostly bare since a massive baby formula recall from a major supplier in the US. And it goes on and talks about, so there was a formula recall already, and now there's a shortage. But they just flew in. I was trying to find the article. 500,000 bottles landed in someplace in the United States, and they're going to be distributed. That literally he had to use the power of the government and invest money to go get baby formula from overseas to bring it. And what normally would have taken 2 weeks, they were able to do it in 3 days. It says there's a Michigan-based plant.
Yeah.
There's a Michigan-based plant that is closed. There's a Michigan-based plant that makes formula, but it's been closed, making a bad situation worse in Michigan. So I just wanted to add that. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just going to say, you know what? I promise you, I'm glad my kids were born where they were born. And I'm glad my mother told me, you better breastfeed your kids, because for women who, breastfed, their infants, and that's not a slight against women who didn't. Some choose not to, and some have a hard time doing it. But, those that breastfeed their children, I mean, it's good that they didn't necessarily have to worry about that. But my heart goes out to all of the women. And I was listening, I was watching some show, I can't remember. And no, as a matter of fact, it was CNN, and they were asking one of the doctors, what are women to do? Can you give them cow's milk? And so the doctor was kind of dancing around it. Well, maybe, for a little bit of time, if your baby doesn't have any allergies and all of this. And I'm saying, you know what? Sometimes you can tell they're making it up as they go. Because you guys know, we were all taught our kids could not have regular milk until they were a certain age. And all of a sudden, things are changing because they can't get formula. And I was just thinking, man, if I was in that position and I could not breastfeed, what would I do? And I'm going to tell you this, and you all probably have heard, there are women that have shared their breast milk with other babies. And so I don't know, what doctors think about that, but we know during slavery, a lot of the white women would give their infants to the Black woman, and those Black women, as they would say, would suckle their children, and that baby would drink from one breast. And they were told, do not put your Black baby on the breast that my child is sucking from. So, I wonder how many women, that maybe had a girlfriend that had a baby the same age said, hey, can you pump some of your milk? And it's a market for everything. This is my rent. This is my rent. Pump that milk, Chris. Okay, pump that milk.
Okay.
Listen, I'll put you in business.
Audrey,
okay.
Answer Audrey's question, Chris. She wants to know, did you feed your babies carnation milk? Anybody out there in the tribe? She wants to know.
Now, I heard years and years before they really came up with formula that there were women that did carnation milk, but fortunately, I didn't have to do that. All of my children were breastfed.
Mm-hmm. It talks about, and it says, watering down formula to make it last longer can also be dangerous, and the nutritional imbalance. And so this is a real issue that especially affects those that are receiving WIC and lower income women, especially that already didn't have access to adequate nutrition in all different cases. And so it's just a real issue. We want to make sure that all of our listeners that are affected by this, that they have, that they really do their research, and so that their babies don't suffer. And we pray that this gets resolved soon. So for real, that's a serious issue.
Yeah. And Katrina, the shipment that you talked about, do you know that's not going on grocery store shelves? They're preserving that. They say none of that will land on store shelves in the U.S. 35 tons of baby formula arrived yesterday in Indiana on a U.S. military aircraft from Germany to address the nationwide shortage. However, The recent batch of formula is a specialized prescription and will be fed to babies intolerant of protein in cow milk. And so it's going to be hard to get to that milk. But they said there's another shipment coming in a few more days. That's that Operation Fly formula that you're talking about. And they're saying that that's going to be imported from abroad. And that formula will get to some store shelves, and that's going to equal about 1.5 million doses of 8-ounce bottles. But you guys, can you imagine that you're going to be on a pecking order list of who gets that first milk? And there was a woman who had a teenage son who has some type of disease who has to have a certain formula milk. And her son is hospitalized right now because that's the only way he can get the nutrition he needs. So it's just sad. Yeah. It's sad.
It really is. It's a lot of issues. I'm telling you, we got some serious issues that are going on. We're going to go for a break. You're listening to We Got Issues on 9:10 a.m. The Superstation with the Force of Friendship. We're talking about everything today. So, hey, we want to hear from you. Call us at 313-778-7600. We'll be right back.
We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Yes. Where my girls at? Oh my goodness. It's always good to get with our tribe. to see what you guys are up to. Call us at 313-778-7600. Tell us what mood this Monday you're in. I think we have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, are you there?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
Good. How are you? I'm doing fine. Y'all back home, huh?
Next time we are back home. Yes. Back home. 9 a.m. the City Station. Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Yes, we are. How have you been?
I've been good. I have a way that I get back in the swing of things. I just play my favorite music and start cooking.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. Yes, what do you like to cook? What's your favorite meal you like to cook?
Well, today I'm cooking looking onion soup burgers and fries.
Okay, what's that recipe? I've never heard of lifted onion soup burgers. Oh, yeah. Okay.
You get the looking onion soup that's in a packet.
Right.
Yeah. And then leave it in the meat. And you can add anything that you want, but looking soup is the soup.
Right. That sounds good. Yes. Okay. Well, that's just onion soup. That ain't no trouble. That's good. So that's a Monday mood, baby. Music and Mrs. Onion Soup hamburger. That sounds good to me. All right, Jeff. All right.
All right, thanks for taking my call.
All right. Thanks for joining.
Well, you guys, we know that there's an uptick in COVID cases around the country. Just when we're about to breathe a little, they have released the mask mandate. Now that mask mandate is picking back up in many parts of the country. CDC is saying that if you're in an enclosed space, you need to mask up. Honestly, I'm talking to people on a daily basis now, and they're saying, I have COVID. My cousin has COVID. My sister has COVID.
Wow.
We got a case in the family. And so, friends, we just, we can't wish this thing away. We've got to work with it. We've got to wait it out. We've got to be diligent. And then on top of that, here comes the monkeypox.
The monkeypox, y'all. Never heard of such. The monkeypox. I mean, they say there are at least 80 confirmed cases worldwide. And I just heard on the news right at break that there are 2 confirmed in Florida and at least 1 in Oregon. So it is here. And, I haven't heard that anyone has died from it, but they're saying it's very contagious. And that all of the individuals who were reportedly contracted it had no travel history with Europe. But I do know they said that it's absolutely contagious, whether through clothing or through any kind of bodily fluids. And so this is just really interesting, seeing online some of the cases and what it looks like. So if it's not one thing, it's another. It's like, especially if you're traveling and you're sitting next to, people you don't know where they're traveling from, you almost got to have on a hazmat suit, put your gloves on and you sit there and say, listen, get your mask on, because you just don't know. So I don't know. If it's not one thing, as they say, it's another.
And they say
monkeypox
is a rare virus transmitted to humans from animals with symptoms very similar to those previously seen in smallpox patients. And so 100, I'm reading now, 100 confirmed or suspected cases in 12 different countries. And you guys know that once it hits the U.S., it goes just like, once it hits, God bless you, Chris. Once it hits one state, then it's another state, then it's another state. Then we start to see it all over. Oh, Lord.
CDC says no treatments are available. No treatments are available.
Wow.
The symptoms begin with fever, headache, muscle ache, exhaustion. The main difference between the symptoms of smallpox and monkeypox is that monkeypox causes the lymph nodes to swell, while smallpox does not. So, I mean, all I got to say is scripture is being fulfilled. I mean, it's not funny.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if you don't believe, I mean, Chrisette, while we were standing in Hawaii, you were like, look at that ocean. How could you not believe there's a God? And I mean, I'm just like, if you haven't read recently, this is like a page. It is just like coming off the page. So, whoo, unbelievable.
Right.
So, literally, pray for it to not come near your house.
Right. It's a lot. And so, I mean, you just have to be vigilant as, the CDC, even with COVID, continue. It's so easy to become lax with, washing your hands and, making sure, that you're doing everything that you need to do, but it's important. But you guys, I just read this. Now, this is really interesting. It says the mega rich are getting richer. A new billionaire, check this out, was minted nearly every day during the pandemic. So a whole lot of people didn't go break, but more billionaires have been made since the pandemic, according to a new report. At the same time, data shows growing levels of inequality, really, and rising food prices could push as many as, listen to this number, 263 million people not into poverty, but extreme poverty. Okay. And I mean, and that's just, ridiculous. That's just, it is so, I don't want to say unfair, but we know inequities always have existed. And, it's just sad that those who were already wealthy had money. Most of the times the tax breaks are for those who have, who have money. And you want to ask yourself the question, when is enough enough? I mean, and again, I know you work hard. I know we are in a capitalist society. And so I understand all of that. And you do have billionaires who are philanthropists and they give back, and my hat's off to them. So that's great. But you got to say, as wealthy as America is, we really shouldn't have the kind of extreme poverty that they're talking about. There should not be children in America going to bed, hungry. In the land of opportunity, land of the free, you have so many individuals who, and it's not just people don't want to work. No, you got people working, but they can't even buy food when they get their paycheck. I mean, it's really sad.
And pretty soon they can't drive to work to go get a paycheck if they wanted to. I mean, even back to the baby formula, speaking of, the wealth of this country, I'm thinking, I mean, I'm glad that they're getting it, but who else is suffering in the world that, third world countries, because did they just manufacture more, or are we taking it? Because America has a way, when things are come to light, then we want to solve those issues. But the silent poor, as long as it's not in your backyard, it's like we just, as we were driving to the to get on the freeway, my husband commented and say, "Oh, there it is." They had moved the homeless from that part of the freeway and had moved them someplace else. But now that it's warming up, they're trying to get under trees. And it's just so sad. But if I would much rather be in a tent in California than in Chicago in the wintertime. So of course you're going to see that in LA, and you're going to see that, you see it everywhere. But yeah, when is enough is the real deal. For real. I wanted to talk about this, y'all. I put, for those of you that are not on the radio, that are on Facebook, we talking about and this happened, the murder in Brooklyn. Where was it? In Brooklyn. Was it Brooklyn?
No, not in Brooklyn. In Buffalo.
In Buffalo. Thank you. I was going for the right. In Buffalo happened while we were in Hawaii. So, we didn't see it directly. But just this particular graphic that I'm showing, to believe that he walked out after that murder, heinous murder, that it takes place. How could he purchase a gun? Why was it allowed? Why did we not have gun control? Why can't people get on the same page and understand the importance of this? And then he is allowed to come out alive, is just, which in case after case after case of unarmed African-American teenagers, that has not been the case. And so we cannot be, it's not that we're blind to it, but you get numb because it's just the same issue over and over again. How loud can you scream? How sad can you be? And so that, I believe they just had some of the funerals took place starting this week. Yeah. So sad.
Tragic. And you say praying is not enough. We've got to do something. We cannot just keep having these mass murders and nothing's going on. Here we are, you guys. There's that music. We got to pay some bills. We got issues with the force of friendship. Call us. Let us know what mood on this Monday you're in. 313-778-7600. We got issues with Sabrina, Katrina, Gloria, and Chrisette. No Gloria today. She'll be back tomorrow. We'll be right back.
right. We are back. We are back, and we are talking about everything that's going on. What's going on? That's what Marvin Gaye said. What's going on? Lots are going on. Lots of issues going on. We have a caller, Gary. You're on the line. What's going on, Gary?
But the fact is that he can take it and create it. The fact is you can go on my Facebook at any time and see a whole meal being cooked. And during the pandemic, I talked to many women who were almost devastated because they just couldn't cook. And I got a lot of calls. Oh my God. I got a lot of calls. Can you replay that? No, go back on Facebook and replay it. And wow. I had a bishop call me from Chicago. He said, man, we owe you. When we get off this thing, we owe you. He said, my life has totally changed because my wife is watching your cooking show every day. He said, we took a whole cabinet in my kitchen and changed it just on the seasons that you talk about cooking with. So whether it's water that we're not drinking, whether it's milk, we act like we need a formula to drink, and that's something new. We didn't grow up with formula. Like somebody mentioned pet milk. You barely even see people talk about pet milk anymore. Because they ain't about to spend no $1.25 for a little can of milk, not realizing it'll make a whole gallon of milk. Because then when you run out of milk to put water in the pet milk to make for your cereal. You know,
yeah, I remember we would run out. I didn't like it, but when we ran out, we absolutely put some pet milk, added some water to it. It's like, okay, we need to get some real milk up in this house. But I hear you, I hear you.
On Friday, there's fish fry on Friday, and then you had grits and fish on Saturday morning, or salmon cocktail.
Oh yeah. Oh, you gonna know that
because there's no we didn't took all that out. And before you fucking at me the next time, you didn't get your pictures and Jared back get his pictures there because he sent me the email you didn't, just so you know.
Okay, I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you as soon as the show is over. There, I'm so glad you called it. You hadn't called in a while.
Let me tell you one more time. If we get back to cooking, we'll be healthier. We'll be more home.
I agree with that.
And I guarantee your relationships will be better. Like the bishop said to me, he said, man, you have helped not only my wife, but you've helped our relationship. Because now we're sitting down, she's cooking, and we're sitting down eating. And all I'm saying to all of us, if we want what we used to see, stop thinking everything was bad about yesterday. Stop thinking women took mess. No, they didn't take mess. They just knew what not to fight about. I'm not saying nobody should go back to, and first of all, you and me both know our mothers didn't take mess. What they did is they let the men be the men. And they had no power being the women. If everybody's in order, there's more peace. You talk about mental stress. Try to do something God didn't desire you to do, and you'll be forever struggling. Take that to the psychologist. Try to be in order and watch you relax from the stress, you relax from the tension, you relax from arguing with a man over a man thing and a woman over a woman thing. There's something just like this monkey stuff or whatever.
Gary, you done hit on about 8 topics, so we're going to need you to call us every day so we can get 8 topics, 2 or 3 every day, okay? We're trying to get it all in,
Well, we love you, Gary. We really, really do. Okay. Thank you for calling, and call us tomorrow. Call us tomorrow to be continued. Okay. Okay. Gary hung up on me. Okay. All right, Gary, I got to go. It's almost time for us to end the show. I love you. I'm going to send you my email. Okay. Okay. Silence is golden.
Gary
All
out.
right, Gary. Right. Gary said he out. Peace out. But you know what? He made some really good points about what some of the things that we used to do. And I agree with him that not everything new is good and not everything old is bad. I think there are some things that we grew up doing. And I will always say, you know, I'm so glad I grew up in the era that I grew up in. Was there some things that were really bad? Yes. But you know what? There were some things that were really, really good. But you guys, before we get out of here, I do have a feel good. And I know Katrina and Sabrina, you probably saw it. And they played it on different stations, and it was the 7-year-old young lady who was running a marathon. I don't know if you all saw that, but she was running track, I think 200 meters, 7 years old. I mean, she was running, and her shoe came off. And you know, when you're running a marathon, you can have a mishap like that and expect to win the game. She put that shoe back on, and all you heard, her family, "Run, Lele." I said, Lele, I said, listen, I'm going to tell myself, run, Chrisette, because it was just such a beautiful lesson on it's you never give up. You never give up. Life happens, and it's real easy to throw in the towel. But Lele said, I still got more to give. She put that shoe on, got to running. And do you know she won the race? And so, you know what? 7 years old, she absolutely epitomizes winners never quit and quitters never win. So I hope that, you know, something that we've said today has enlightened you, encouraged you, and that you will be like Lele. We're going to end on a good note. Be like Lele. Don't give up. Whatever is going on in your life, whatever challenges you may have, just know, don't quit. Keep going. Keep going. And absolutely, you'll win your race. All right, I'll turn it on. Anybody have anything else to say before we close out? They're shaking
I
their
got to go
heads
find
no.
that video of Lele. Okay. I haven't seen it. I got to go find the video of Lele.
Oh, you got to see
Run,
Lele.
baby, run.
Okay.
Run, baby,
Run,
run. Keep
Lele,
on running.
run. Okay, well, you all have been listening to We Got Issues on 9:10 a.m. the Superstation with the Force of Friendship. Katrina, Sabrina, Gloria, and Chrisette. You guys have an amazing rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Good night.